We have a historic day today, ladies and gentlemen. Please pay attention and get ready for this emergency broadcast.
On this vote, the yeas are 216, the nays are 210. The resolution is adopted. Without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table. The office of Speaker of the House of the United States House of Representatives is hereby declared vacant.
Now that's a Don DeMarco moment right there.
All right. Yeah.
Ricardo Hamilton, Mims, your reaction of this historic first time in U.S. history the Speaker of the House has been removed. What a Wednesday. What a time to be alive.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this is historic. And, we have to document it and we have to, share this information, explain it with people. Look, they said the revolution won't be televised, but I'm telling you right now, certain parts of it is. Okay. This is a revolution. What's going on in this country, what has been going on. Okay. We are seeing signs of change. All right. And that is good. So I was excited to see this because I understand what's going on in the House and how they're getting bills passed and the corruption and everything that's going on and the type of solutions that are being presented that are not being taken up by the present speaker. I mean, term limits and line item, agendas and things of this nature. And so just folks understand something that we are seeing a major shift take place. There's a major uprising, okay, and an awakening that's taking place all across this nation, and it's good. It's good. I believe it's definitely going to get chaotic. There's going to be more uncertainty and tribulation in the process, but it's the healing process, and that's what we have to go through. So I'm excited to see these type of developments take place because if you don't know, you sure enough about to find out.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's wild, and I think this is a good thing. If people don't remember, when Kevin McCarthy was voted in, it took 16 times. Yeah. And basically he had to make a deal with Matt Gaetz and the other Republicans of, listen, if we vote for you, these things need to happen. Kevin McCarthy went back on his word again and again and again. Yep. And I applaud any party or person in Washington, D.C. who will stand up for truth and stand up to principles and hold people accountable, even when it's in their own party. So, well done, Matt Gaetz. Let's hear from him real quick right now as he was speaking out on the Capitol Hill yesterday.
Is outside the Capitol right now.
Congressman Gaetz, if not McCarthy, then who
analyzed the House of Representatives today? To whose benefit? People have called you. People say that is to your benefit alone. Is it to the benefit of you and to Donald Trump?
It's the benefit of this country that we have a better Speaker of the House than Kevin McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy couldn't keep his word. He made an agreement in January regarding the way Washington would work, and he violated that agreement. We are $33 trillion in debt. We are facing $2.2 trillion annual deficits. We face a de-dollarization globally that will crush Americans, working class Americans. Kevin McCarthy is a feature of the swamp. He has risen to power by collecting special interest money and redistributing that money in exchange for favors. We are breaking the fever now, and we should elect a speaker who's better.
So if not Kevin
So Mims, your reaction to that, especially talking about the de-dollarization.
Man, this is stuff, you see, it means something when you start to hear it echoed through the chambers of Congress and representatives of this country, when they start really talking about, yes, the de-dollarization is real. Yes, the debt is real. Yes, the economic instability is real. See, this is the stuff that we've been saying and warning people for years. And this is why we've been telling people, get physical silver, okay? Start saving in gold. Start creating multiple streams of income. Start to diversify and hedge against financial crisis and inflation. And this is what they're trying to do to save this country right now. Okay, this is what Donald Trump talks about. And did you hear what Matt Gaetz said? Look, BRICS is on the rise right now. We have done plenty of live streams where we showed that the G7 nations are in decline. That's the United States. And we've seen that BRICS and other nations in the GDP are rising. We're seeing that they're dumping the dollar, making bilateral trade agreements, taking other things besides dollar for oil. These are having massive ramifications that the people just don't realize. And they're getting caught up in propaganda. They're getting caught up in politics. They're getting caught up in this left-right paradigm, and you don't understand the underlying foundation on what makes this economy function, what makes your standard of living function. You're being lied to by the media. You're being lied to by your representatives, and you don't understand how the system works. And so one most important thing is, yes, we have to get this house in order. And the Congress, it starts with Congress. They control the purse strings. And and to be able to get Kevin McCarthy out of there, who, like Gates said, is part of the swamp, okay? This is a good thing. This is a very good thing. So we're starting to see some real change, and we could see some real progress come out of here. And because now the acting Speaker of the House, I think it's John. Can't remember his last name, but he's actually crypto friendly. Okay, he's so we're having people in here who are more for the people, because we listen to Robert Kiyosaki. He said blockchain, crypto, Bitcoin, that's the people's money. Gold and silver is God's money, and the dollar is the slave's money, right? And so we're seeing some significant actions being taken. John McCaleb or something. I think
Patrick McHenry.
Yeah, Patrick. I don't know his name. John. Patrick McHenry. Right. Patrick McHenry, acting Speaker of the House in the interim until hopefully they get either somebody much better in there or Donald Trump. Okay. In the meantime, until he's president. But yeah, Mike, I think this is historic, and it's revolutionary. And just be prepared, folks, for anything and everything, because you're starting to see the dominoes fall in place, and there are good things and bad things that are going to come out of that. So stay ready. You ain't got to get ready.
And if you guys don't remember, Patrick McHenry was actually the guy leading the chair when they were questioning Gary Gensler last week, and he is the guy who said, "Don't make me be the first, representative to subpoena the SEC," because basically Gary Gensler wasn't being honest, wasn't giving them the information they were asking for.
Yeah.
So real quick, Ricardo, we won't go into this too much today, but most people don't know this, is anyone can be nominated.
Yeah.
Any citizen can be nominated to become the leader of the House of Representatives, a speaker.
Yep.
So here's Matt Gaetz last night, kind of giving people a little tease of what they want to see.
There is no greater country than America. There is no greater president than Donald J. Trump. And if you don't mind me saying so, there is not a better member of Congress than Marjorie Taylor Greene. Give us the ability to fire Nancy Pelosi, take back the majority, impeach Joe Biden, and I'm going to nominate Donald Trump for Speaker of the United States House of Representatives. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Well, that was interesting.
Gates. Trump.
So what we see there is, Matt Gaetz alluding, and he'd already, when he stood up to nominate Trump speaker, that was back, about 8 months ago, when Kevin McCarthy was going through his 16 votes and whatnot. But I mean, this has got people buzzing, Ricardo, because of course, Speaker of the House is third in line to become president. So, your thoughts, we'll get into this deeper on Freedom Friday, but your initial take.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that you pointed that out, third in line, and because we already know who the first two are, and that's a no-go. We got to get them out of there. And I hope you guys, who are watching this, if you don't see this as positive, or if you don't see this as progressive, or you don't see this as a good thing, then you are working in the wrong paradigm of understanding of what's going on in this country, what's going on in the global economy. I mean, you have been lied to. The propaganda machine, the MK Ultra, social engineering has been working. And I'm just telling you that if you don't see this as a good thing, if you don't understand what's going on, take a break. Just forget everything you thought you knew and relearn. Break it down and try to see what's been going on and why this is a good thing. So when you see this movement, it's about liberty, it's about freedom. It's away from tyranny. And most people don't understand that our current trajectory was World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, own nothing and be happy. Okay. But if we have people that are against that agenda, that are for this nation, that are for our rights and liberty. And understand, yes, there's a lot of other problems. There's a lot of other issues. There's a lot of other dynamics. And this is not like, the golden thing to save everybody and everything else. But this is putting us in a better position than where we would be had we not have, a party and people who were against the agenda of these globalists, and trying to enslave humanity. This is about saving our freedoms and liberties to the best of our ability, and evening the playing field. We were hurt by this administration with the SEC. All this is under Joe Biden. Everything you're seeing in the economy right now is under Joe Biden. The war is continuing. We're trying to send more money for war. The border, the policies of cryptocurrency and everything else. Look what we're dealing with. I have been adversely affected from this government, from the Securities and Exchange Commission. This administration has adversely affected me and countless others. They just don't realize it. When you see the inflation, when you see what's going on in this economy, it's because of this, they call it Bidenomics. Okay. It's because of this administration. And I hope that if you don't see that, then you really take your time to try to understand why it's being said, and don't suffer from cognitive dissonance.
Yeah, and that's huge, guys. And again, we're not, it's not Democrats versus Republicans. Okay. It's the people versus whatever you want to call it, the deep state, the swamp.
Yeah.
Globalists. And it's infected
whatever.
Both parties.
Yeah.
So you got to remember, the Republican Party did not want Donald Trump to become president.
No.
They did almost everything they could to stop him.
Yeah. Great point.
But speaking of Bidenomics, our main video today is Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, basically laying out the struggles that people are feeling in the economy now. So we're going to take a quick listen to that and just kind of offer some suggestions to help people survive these times.
This is why I was on the Hill yesterday. I was banging the drum up and down the hall saying, everybody, let's wake up to what's happening to my small companies. I got 34 plus companies. They can't raise a dime. There's no Bidenomics for them. They have no capital, and that's a big problem, and it's manifesting itself. Those are the people that are looking for cheaper toothpaste and all the issues that are going around inflation. Core inflation is not down. CPI, yes, but core inflation, the real inflation that hurts a small individual that's trying to live off $58,000, they're getting killed. And this will show up in the polls. This will become political, but we've got to save small business right now. We have to do everything in our power to make sure they get access to capital. This is
So let me pause that right there, Ricardo, and see if there's anything you want to add to what he's saying.
No, I would just say that, these are factors, variables, dynamics that people don't realize that are going on, and they don't understand certain areas of the economy are being affected. And he's breaking down how it's affecting small businesses. Most people just go out about their day to day, and they're worried about their own economy and being able to go to work, provide for themselves, but not understanding the macro, in addition to the micro of the economics. And so when these things are pointed out, this gives people the ability to kind of see ahead for what's to come. And that's what's most important. If you have, you're given the ability to have some vision and some foresight, so you can make the proper plans and strategies that's needed for yourself and your family moving forward.
And the main thing he said there is small business needs access to capital, which is very difficult to get right now because interest rates are so high. So we have the solution for that inside of Smart Finance. We're going to be able to get small businesses or individuals with an LLC up to $200,000 of funding starting next week. So this is why you guys want to make sure you're plugged in. And if you don't need it and there's somebody else who does, that can give you another income stream.
Yeah, I had a plan for that.
So,
that's huge. We just talked about it. You just showed a problem for small businesses. And here we're telling you guys with Smart Finance, who we've partnered with, we're going to help small businesses be able to get that financing. That's huge.
Yep. So we'll be talking about that more next week once we drop it into the Smart Finance suite.
Yeah.
This is a problem that's only 6 to 8 weeks old. You talk to anybody running a small business between 5 and 500 employees, they cannot raise any money. That's bad economic policy, and that's because Biden's focused only on the big guys.
We have a family small business, and not only have we been choking for so many years under this administration because of the COVID policies and the regulations, but to your point now, we can't get any capital, and the capital means nothing anyway because the dollar is so much less of a value. Carly, on Friends this morning, you were covering extensively the fact that shoppers, when they go to the grocery store, they are facing double-digit increases on those basics that Americans all need every day: flour, bread, sugar, things that we cook and provide for our families with, and yet our whispering, gleefully chuckling president seems to ignore it.
And that's why campaigning on Bidenomics is such a risk, because not only are you telling people, don't believe what I'm feeling, believe what I'm telling you, it's also a risk because if we do go into a recession, it has a name, and it's Bidenomics. And Janet Yellen just said a few days ago that a recession isn't entirely off the table. But the White House is all in on this Bidenomics push. I just saw that they posted something on Instagram, and they're telling people to text them. They provide a number about how Bidenomics has affected them, and they showed a text that they say they received from a guy named Pat. He says, my neighbor just returned to Minnesota from Pennsylvania by car and said they saw nothing but bridges being built everywhere. Thank you, Mr. President. The comment section was not kind. I saw one person who said, I'll take a conversation that never happened for 200.
Ricardo, remember the good old days when we had to spend 10 minutes explaining to people what inflation was because nobody really grasped that economic concept?
Yeah. Now everybody, it's on everybody's tongue. And I love what she said. You know, it's don't believe what you feel. You believe what I tell you. You know, they try to act like, oh, everything is fine. The economy is great. We're doing a great job. And people are struggling. You know what I'm saying? Crime is up. Okay. Big time. Crime is up. You know, a drug abuse is up. Okay. Food insecurity is up. Okay. I mean, these are real things that are happening that are not being addressed. They're just being ignored. And then you have this massive crisis on the border, and they're putting stress on budgets. And, you know, I mean, it's just a nightmare. And so that's why we need to see a shakeup. We need to see some change taking place. But I mean, look, they're talking about the loss in purchasing power on mainstream media. Okay, this is something that doesn't exist. You know, this is not supposed to exist. We're not supposed to be here on mainstream media. They're talking about the loss in purchasing power of the dollar, the rise of BRICS, inflation. You know, these are things that you normally don't hear because these terms and these things put people on alert. It should put you on your heels. It should make you start to consider and do things differently financially. But because they've created such a consumerism economy, they want you to be happy and just go out and spend, and that helps the economy and stuff. But now the message is, oh, inflation. Oh, you know, this debt crisis. Oh, the dollar losing value. What's going on around the world? So, folks, the tide and the narrative is changing, and that means your habits and your thinking need to change with it. You know, and
well, I know we've been waiting to cover this, Ricardo, and I really need you to make this make sense to me because I don't really grasp what it's saying, but this, you know, a lot of people posted this about, you know, the dollar supply now is at, what is that, 792 trillion negative. And then it has this dollar to silver ratio. It says
792 billion.
Yeah, billion. I'm sorry.
Yeah. They don't got that much currency created.
And then what's going on with this dollar to silver ratio is 0 per ounce.
Yeah. So the dollar supply is going down. So it's hard to the way they price it. So they just had it priced at 0 because the supply of dollars is going down. But when you look at on the right side, it says about 15.58 for an ounce of silver. So what they have done is they've taken the M2 money supply because right now the Federal Reserve is buying less treasuries or debt. They're buying less debt and they've increased interest rates. So that's what Kevin O'Leary is saying is that we need liquidity. We need to be able to, you know, print money. Essentially, they just want to print more money because that's the lifeblood of this economy because it's a debt-based fiat system. And you have to have this debt continuing to come in or the system freezes and locks up. You have a credit crisis, liquidity crisis like in 2008. And so what we have here is that this debt-based fiat system is collapsing right before our eyes, which we already know. It's collapsing under its own weight. And so the dollar supply is actually going down. And we know that all the trillions of dollars that they're spending, and it's not in physical, it's not real, it's just digits on the screen. So there's only so much physical paper out there, right? So we have a supply of dollars, going down. So the way that they calculate these numbers, they couldn't put a price for the dollar to silver ratio with a supply going down. But what you can do a lot of times is when you hover over that data on the top of the U.S. debt clock, it'll give you how they're coming up with that. So it's the year-over-year change in U.S. M2 money supply. So they're saying that the year-over-year change in the M2 money supply, which is the Federal Reserve, notes, creating currency, that supply is going down. That supply is going down. So that's what they're saying. And so that's less money in the system. And this is what Kevin O'Leary is saying. We need more money. We need people to be able to borrow, but they can't at these rates.
So is the M2 money supply going down because we had Operation Twist and
the massive printing?
Yeah, and then the pandemic, all that money that was printed there. So now it's finally going down.
Yeah, because we're not under those same type of influx of capital or currency, debt in the system. So you have to account for that change. It's like when they shut everything down, and then when they open things up, they're like, "Oh, we're up," and it's like, "Nah, we're only up because y'all shut everything down." But if you compare that to historical data, we're probably in a different way. So they know how to they manipulate the perception in the meaning of these numbers. And the U.S. debt clock is just trying to give people a real idea, because this is data from the government. This is the data from the government. So like it says right there, the source is the USGS and the Federal Reserve. And that's the real data that we're going by. So the dollar supply is going down. And and look what it says for silver, $1,500 an ounce. This is why we say don't value your wealth in dollars. Why would you value your wealth in something that is a unit of debt, that does not a unit of wealth, that doesn't hold its purchasing power, that is losing its status, respect, and value all around the world? Why would you value your wealth in that? You have to value your wealth in assets, tangibles, resources, relationships, skills. That's where you value your wealth.
So this says we have the 5-year average of the yearly increase in the U.S. M2 money supply divided by the yearly world production of silver in ounces. So really, this is a more accurate depiction of what an ounce of silver should be worth versus, what do they have it now?
It's smacking the market right now.
21.
No, it's 20.
It's ridiculous.
The market is down for the paper contracts. So understand the paper price that you're seeing on the market, that's the derivatives market. It's the paper contract market. It's not the price for real physical silver. They've been manipulating that stuff for decades, and it's paper. So they're knocking the prices down. And like I've told people, I wouldn't be surprised if we see everything crash. Okay, maybe it pumped up a little bit. They had it under 21. It was like 20.95. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see everything crash. We saw silver go to, oil go to -50. We could see everything go to zero, and then they restart everything back up and reevaluate it.
Yep.
Okay, so don't be fudded out by seeing silver and gold continuing to go down or something like that. This is a reset. And understand, when you reset something, it resets, goes to zero, shuts it down, reboots. Okay, so we're going through a reset, but this is why we say you want to make sure you're holding the assets, not your keys, not your crypto. If you don't hold it, gold and silver, you don't own it. You don't want paper contracts. You don't want certificates, ETFs, whatever you think you got in the stock market, Robinhood, 401k, checking and savings account, safety deposit box. All that is up at risk, and you leaving it in somebody else's custody is a liability to you, and they will take it because they've already passed the bail-in laws. They've already passed the bailout laws. They're ready to take everything you have and shut down this system. They can do it at a moment's notice. So make sure you have your resources and necessities and assets on hand.
This currency and credit derivatives, million billion, that's 632 trillion, right?
Yeah, so that's a derivatives bubble that we talk about. The 632 trillion with a T.
With the T.
Yeah.
With the T, guys. We're sure about this one.
Yeah, $632 trillion. That's a derivatives bubble. So remember, when all this collapses, that goes with it. So literally, you know, when this system collapsed, we're going to see like the Stone Ages. I mean, we're back in the medieval times as far as, I mean, there's no, so the system has to reboot. And that's why we're seeing them now put treasury money up there, and obviously the value of gold and silver and crypto and things of this nature.
And then we have the U.S. unfunded liabilities. So things the government has written checks for saying, we'll take care of Medicare, we'll take Social Security.
Yeah.
Is 194 trillion.
Yeah. And this is why if you remember hearing Congress sometimes saying that they want to restructure it or they want to get rid of it or change it and stuff, because they know this is totally unsustainable. They know that, you know, it's going to break this country's back, that it's a fugazi. You know, it's a fugazi, but $194 trillion. You see, Matt Gaetz talked about, well, this country is $33 trillion in debt. Well, but they don't talk about the $194 trillion in debt from unfunded liabilities, that the money is not there. I mean, it's unfunded. It's unfunded. It's not there. The money's not there for that. And then once again, the derivatives market, 600 something trillion on top of that. You know, so this is the biggest casino, and it's going to collapse, and it's going to have ramifications that are going to be talked about for centuries. Okay. We're living in the most significant time period in history. If you are alive right now, you're living in literally, you could say biblical times, but this is the most significant time period in history. And that's what I mean. It doesn't matter what you've read in religious texts. It doesn't matter what you've read throughout history. There is no greater time, more significant time to be alive than the time that you're in right now. And the ramifications of it not only will be talked about, but felt for centuries to come. And this is why we say, if you didn't come from a wealthy family, this is the opportunity to make sure a wealthy family comes from you. But there are certain things that you need to be doing and certain ways that you need to position yourself and represent yourself moving forward.
And this just blew me away as you look at, you know, talking about Bidenomics, the median income in the last 23 years has only gone up $4,000.
It's crazy.
And then you look at the price of a new home has almost tripled. And the price of a new car has more than doubled. So, I mean, we know times are tough out there.
Yeah.
It might be a while until, you know, things get better. So that's why we have, you know, partnered with Smart Finance. And essentially, I mean, anything you need help with, repairing your credit, sticking to a budget, having, you know, a debt expert to actually show you how you can pay off your debt quicker, savings in healthcare, access to capital, everything you need for your small business, ways to save money when you do go out to shop, travel, or buy things. Legal help. Okay. And I was talking to somebody the other day, Ricardo, about, you know, they were having issues with their, you know, their kid's dad. Right. And she was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I want to, like, you know, seek advice from a lawyer, but I know I can't afford it. Or if I could just have somebody write a letter for me, maybe he would get the point. But she was scared to do anything because she's like, I can't afford a lawyer right now. And so this is all provided in that Smart Finance suite.
Yeah. And just so you guys know, everything that he mentioned that's provided in Smart Finance, $60. That's it. I mean, that's what you start out with. That's crazy. I mean, that suite of services. I mean, credit, debt elimination, legal, tax, setting up trusts, all that stuff. Okay. 60 business, you know, we talked about the business loans. Okay. And things of that, business services, $60 a month, no contract. So we have a lot of people who are taking advantage of Smart Finance and benefiting from that. And obviously, with everything that's going on in this economy, like I said, there are certain things you want to do. Get your financial house in order, okay, and accumulate assets and create multiple streams of income.
So, you know, that's basically the solution, guys. I mean, that's why we join with this company and partnered with them to bring this to you is, we're here to sound the alarm. We're here to keep you motivated, but we are not legal, tax, debt, credit experts. Okay. We know a lot about this space, but we brought in professionals and gave you the platform for everything that you need. So get your financial house in order, get ready, because like Ricardo said, you can't, what was your shock and awe thing? Avoid the shock and awe.
Yeah. We don't want people to get caught up in the shock and awe of whatever goes down, because we know something's going to go down. We know situations are going to come up, and we don't want you in a shock and awe. We want you past the shock and awe phase, because you anticipated, that you already knew that something was coming. We just don't know what it is, but there's always something coming. And if you always are in ready mode, you anticipate events to take place, you can skip the emotional process that the average person will go through, the paralysis of analysis, the fear, the doubt, the uncertainty, and you can go straight into action plan. You can go straight into, solution-oriented mindset. And so, skip the shock and awe. Don't be shocked or in awe about anything that you see going on moving forward with this government, with this economy. You should already be in the know, and you should already have some type of strategy or plan, or at least the ability for your mind to process and not be stressed out about what's going on.
And like Ricardo said, is you have to be prepared, because they're going to try to crash everything to get you to sell your stocks, your gold and silver, your crypto. And you need to be mentally and financially prepared, so that when that does happen, you're not having to sell your assets. You're able to buy the assets when they drop the price. When was the best time to buy Bitcoin in the last 5 years? The day we found out that the US was going to shut down, right when the pandemic started. That was the best time to buy stocks. That was the best time to buy oil. That was the best time to buy silver. So when something happens like that and everyone's scared, that's the moment that you need to be ready to buy. So don't be distracted, stay focused, stay informed, but know that it's coming, whatever it is that they have planned. And we want to help as many people be prepared for that.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for Freedom Friday, guys. We got a lot to talk about that we can't talk about on these airwaves.
Yeah, Freedom Friday is going to be huge.
Mims. Oh, I'll bring up one last thing.
Yeah, I want to switch,
that we want to make sure people sign.
Yeah, we want to switch gears really quickly for our runners community and people that have been benefiting and watching also what's been going on with the DebtBox ecosystem. There is a We Stand With DebtBox petition. For those who might not know, October 6th is the day that we will see if the judge will remove this temporary restraining order that has locked up our ecosystem. It has created an adverse effect for all of us in this community because of the SEC's false, in my opinion, from what I know and what I'm seeing, allegations. And so you could read it there. I don't know if you want to read it, Mike, but we definitely want to get people to sign the petition. We got over 3,900 signatures already. On the 6th, the judge will hear everything and make his ruling. I'm very optimistic. And so if you haven't signed that petition, definitely sign that petition. This is a real blockchain company with real technology, and more and more people are going to find out about that as this case moves on and they see the evidence. And we want to make sure that the judge knows that our community is here and what the SEC how they affected us, and that debt is legit.
Yeah, we will soon be talking about this, but the SEC papers have just been almost laughable. I mean, they have no credible evidence. There is nothing. I mean, most of what they disprove themselves in their own statements. And the last rebuttal, in the papers that the debt brought was like, there's nothing here. Yeah. Like they created all of this. Yeah. So it's, we're still holding strong, and it'll be interesting to be able to talk about this once the TRO is lifted.
Yep. We'll find out in short order here, folks. Very soon. Very soon.
Mims, do you want to say anything about what's happening today at 2:20?
Well, yeah.
Give people a little heads up.
Yeah, we can talk about that. So a lot of people, I might have heard, and you should know that there is an emergency broadcast system that is going to go out. And this is nothing new per se. It happens every few years or so, I think 3 years. And, it's just a test of the system for the readiness if there was an event to go down. But the unique thing about this time around is that there are a lot of dynamics that are coinciding with this national alert system. And there is a lot of reason for just caution because we don't know what we're dealing with, whether it's some of the events where Russia is also doing a nuclear readiness test with their citizens for the first time. And, there's a lot of, things going around about the frequencies that are coming out from these devices, or even just them being able to ping your device and access to your device and things of this nature. So there's, that is happening. So what are some people are choosing to do is either, they're saying they'll turn off their phone or put it in a Faraday bag, or just get away from the technology. There's a lot of stuff out there. And, the thing about it is with me is I look at it like, the boy who cried wolf. And once again, if I stay ready, I don't got to get ready. And I do know that this government has technologies and advancements that we don't know about that they use against the people in different ways. So it could be nothing, could be something, but I'm choosing personally to just go out in nature, stay away from electronics during that time period, because it's good to just de-energize anyway, get back to the grounding of nature, go out and connect with the earth. And, get away from electronics. But yes, there will be a national broadcast emergency alert system. It's going to go through everybody's TVs, everybody's radios, everybody's cellular devices. It's going to be for the first 30 seconds. I think it's going to be the message. And then from what I'm hearing, for the next 30 minutes, it's going to be this frequency sound that's going to be emitting. So I'm hearing anywhere from 30 seconds to like 30 minutes or an hour. This thing is going to be going off. The other thing I will say about it is, even if it is just a regular test and then nothing happening, which probably it is, no need to create hysteria, but I still like to hedge in the best ways that I can for potential scenarios that I just don't really know. But the thing is that whatever they do try again, the people are so awake right now. The people are so alert right now. It's like they can't get away with anything. Conspiracy theory or not, it's like whatever they try, we're already just so alert, expecting something. And sure, they might not do it this time, they might do it that time, they might do it. But when they do it, because we're so in an alert, in a heightened state, just waiting and looking for whatever the next thing, the next false flag, the next, whatever it is that come out, we're so alert. So, I am, I like to see this. So that way, once again, there's no shock and awe. You know what I mean? There's no shock and awe if something does go down because people are already like ready and waiting for something to go down. But yeah.
It's almost like the pandemic had the opposite effect of what they wanted. I think they thought people will fall in line, people will be scared, and then when we do it again, it'll be easier.
Yeah.
I think what I'm worried about is if there is something that's actually legitimate, is people might not heed the warnings because we've been lied to for so long.
Yeah.
But I see people, it doesn't really matter what party they're in now. I mean, they just know, like, we were lied to for years about multiple aspects of everything. Mm-hmm. And it's like, for what? And then no one comes out and says, oh, sorry about that. Oh, we were wrong. They just keep lying about it. And people are just sick and tired of not being able to trust our government officials.
Yeah, no accountability, and I don't trust Bill Gates. When I go to TED Talks and I see Bill Gates on stage talking about there's too much CO2 on the planet, and then he gives a formula, and one of the variables in the formula is P, and that's for population. And then when I hear Bill Gates say that, well, we're doing a good job by reducing CO2, by reducing the population, and we're doing that with healthcare and vaccines. Okay, I don't understand. So. There's a lot of things behind it as well, but I don't trust Bill Gates. I don't trust his government. And so, this national emergency alert system, some people are making the correlation to those who have been vaccinated as well. But like you said, Mike, it's just, the people are waking up. I don't trust none of them. And we just have to stay alert and keep our head on a swivel right now at these times.
Couldn't agree. And
Yeah.
so again, guys, probably nothing to worry about, but just take an hour and get out in nature and put away your
Yes.
phone.
Yep. It starts at 2:20. It's supposed to go from 2:20. Like I said, if it goes for an hour, it could be obviously 3:20. But I'm hearing just probably 30 seconds to, for one part of it and 30 minutes for the other part. I'm not sure, but it is going out. There will be a national emergency alert system today on October 4th.
Oh, I almost forgot is we're on a 90-day run, guys. That's why we're going at noon. Again, you can catch us, on replays on our YouTube.
Right.
So if you got to work during the day or you're busy, you can always catch us later when it's most convenient for you. But tomorrow we'll be doing Trading Thursday. That will be on a private Zoom. So if you want to get in that, make sure you're connected in the Runners app or in our Facebook group. We'll post that stuff there. Everything you need is down in the description, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook, to join the app or get in the group. And we'll be covering some trading information tomorrow, maybe review some stuff from last week with the Pika trades we've been sending out to the group. Other than that, my man, I think we're good.
Yeah, we're good, folks. Yeah, like I talked about, October is going to be an exciting month. I'm excited about the 6th to see what happens with this TRO and our ecosystem get back in control and take off again. And we're going to watch what goes on Capitol Hill. So those developments, and we're going to continue to document this collapse while providing solutions that people can use right now to put themselves in a much better financial and more secure position moving forward.
Couldn't have said it better myself. All right, lace up. Let's get wealthy, guys. Peace.